The Australian Defence Force Chief, General Angus Campbell, has spoken publicly for the first time since he renewed his calls to strip medals from Afghanistan war veterans. The ABC reported last week that General Campbell wrote to several current and former Australian Defence Force members, informing them that their honours for distinguished and conspicuous service could soon be cancelled. This appears to represent a direct overturn of the decision of then Defence Minister Peter Dutton on this very issue. Unsurprisingly, this has come under fire from veterans groups who thought that this matter had been settled once and for all. This is what unfolded in Senate estimates today.
Has any soldier, General Campbell, been adversely named in the Brereton report, been proven guilty in a court?
Not that I am aware of, Senator.
And yet, as we sit here, you are now in the process of making another attempt to strip medals from soldiers. You've referred the removal of further awards to the Minister for Defence. Is one of those awards you're attempting to have removed from soldiers the Distinguished Service Cross?
So, Senator, the question of the awarding and the appropriateness of decorations, particularly with regard to distinguished service, arises from whether that service was indeed distinguished. And the command accountability of the performance of the leader, as much as the question of the command accountability of the leader for the performance of those that they led. And this, Senator, is an administrative issue. It is not, and it is separate to questions of criminality, which you are conflating it with.
Joining me now is former Australian Special Forces Commando, Wes H. Hennessey. Wes, thank you for joining me. Are you surprised by what you've just heard from General Campbell?
No, not at all, unfortunately. And as you can see there, he's separating the two issues, which is important that we note. So currently the General is taking administrative action, or we've been led to believe he is, against persons who have been awarded both Distinguished Service Cross and, for that matter, other honours and awards. So we don't specifically know exactly what medals and whom's being targeted. And then we have the Brereton report, which is the criminality component, which is handled by the Office of Special Investigations. I think the wider question here that I'd like to sort of put across, though, is we need to ask ourselves, what is the cost of when the CDF is continuing to bring up these issues? And I don't mean a financial cost. There's a tremendous issue at the moment with the force and being to do with morale and to do with retention. And then for those reasons, we're trying to recruit heavily, which is another issue on its own. So every single time the Chief of the Defence Force raises these issues with very, very little transparency, what that causes is a ripple effect throughout the wider veteran community, and it causes a lot of concern to a lot of different veteran organisations who have to deal with all that, the ripple effect and the mental health issues. Also, we've got the issue of what's happening with the current force. As I said, retention issues, recruitment issues, we've got capability issues. We just sat through, compiled the Defence Force strategic review. Now we're about to, they've put in place an independent body to ensure that review is seen through. So to me, we should be asking ourselves, what's the Chief of Defence Force, whose tenures have been extended? So he's had a back-to-back tenure. What is the Chief of the Defence Force actually doing?